Welcome to the Shorten Anime channel. Today we'll dive into the latest episode of The Great Ruler. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to support the channel. The Great Ruler Season 1, Episode 11. The Northern Spiritual Field is located at the northwestern side of the Northern Spiritual Realm. It is approximately a day away from the Northern Spiritual Academy. This vast territory could be considered as the most popular place within the Northern Spiritual Realm. Although the Northern Spiritual Field is filled with many dangers, the higher the risk, the higher the rewards. To obtain these rewards, many individuals would let their successors take their position before entering the Northern Spiritual Field. Some individuals would be able to obtain the rewards, but some would be buried under the rotten leaves. Heading towards the Northern Spiritual Field for training was considered a rather significant event in the Northern Spiritual Academy. Almost half of the Heaven-class students would participate. As they would quietly train inside the academy, they knew that they needed real combat the most. And only real combat would toughen a person's mind. This is an essential thing required on the path of becoming strong. Not only was the Northern Spiritual Field filled with a variety of spiritual beasts, there were also a diverse group of disreputable individuals, including some notorious characters. Compared to the bloody and ruthless characters, the Northern Spiritual Academy students were like a sheep. Even though they weren't weak, but they would not be a decent opponent for these ruthless individuals if a fight really happened. Therefore, the Northern Spiritual Academy also sent out a powerful guard force in order to protect the students. The East Branch's Teacher Mo and the West Branch's Teacher Shi would also follow. These two individuals were genuine powerhouses at the spirit stage. There shouldn't be many souls that would dare harbor evil intentions in front of two spirit stage powerhouses. In the early morning, the Northern Spiritual Academy's field training team began to leave. However, they only reached the outskirts of the Northern Spiritual Field when it was sunset. Since it was getting darker, they set up their camp when they got there. As the darkness enveloped the place, a campfire rose from the camp. It was evident that many of the Northern Spiritual Academy students would not come to such a place. Thus, many of them were excited, and a lively atmosphere surrounded the camp. This lively atmosphere made others stare at them in the darkness. A majority of them were adventurers, and they knew that these individuals were hot-headed individuals from the Northern Spiritual Academy. They only pouted in the darkness as they walked away. In their eyes, these student goody two-shoes would probably be trembling in fear when they face a vicious spiritual beast. Muchin sat cross-legged beside the campfire. He stared at the darkness outside of the camp. In the far distance, there were a variety of bloody roars echoing from beasts. This scene was somewhat familiar to him, but only the atmosphere was much less brutal and bloody compared to his memories of the spiritual road. Muchin trembled for a moment. Then, a slender hand suddenly extended from behind and patted his shoulder. When the hand landed on Muchin's shoulder, his black eyes instantly turned cold. His entire body tensed up like a jaguar coming in for its prey. His hands shot out and clenched the hand tightly. Ouch! A cry of pain rang out. Only then did Muchen recover, and he turned around to look at Tang Qianer, who was behind him. The coldness within his eyes quickly disappeared as he touched his head awkwardly and let go of the hand. "What are you doing? It hurts!" Tang Qianer angrily complained at Muchen as she sat down beside him and rubbed her wrist. "Sorry," Muchen let out a bitter laugh. The one-year trial in the spiritual road made his body remain alert instinctively. This vigilant instinct was always suppressed by him when he returned to the Northern Spiritual Realm. However, he returned back to a familiar environment again, so he actually awakened this vigilance again. "What is it?" Tang Qianer pouted, but her eyes remained fixed on Muchen. After all, girls are always quite attentive. She felt a cold chill when Muchen gripped her wrist earlier. If she did not let out a sound of pain, Muchen might have directly crushed her wrist. Muchen stared at the campfire in front of him and was silent for a moment. He said, "If someone did the same action as you earlier in the spiritual road to me, perhaps I would have killed him. Because if I don't kill him, I might be the one that will be killed." Tang Qianer froze for a moment, and she stared at the calm boy. When he said the word kill, his face did not change much. It was as if he was accustomed to it. "Then the spiritual road seems to be quite terrifying," Tang Qianer muttered. In their eyes, the spiritual road was quite mysterious. It is said that many individuals who left the spiritual road would not talk about that matter. However, the people that came out of the spiritual road were all extremely powerful. Thus, it made many young boys and girls like Tang Qianer to yearn for that place. However, as naive individuals, they did not know that they must walk out from this insane place to obtain an abnormal strength. Mu Chen gently smiled and muttered to himself, "At that place, everybody's considered a competitor. They are all extremely cruel competitors as well. There are a few crazy individuals who would smile peacefully towards you, yet they would plunge a dagger into your chest in the next moment. Therefore, trust is something rare at that place. However, if you are able to find it, it will be something that you will cherish for the rest of your life." Mu Chen quietly breathed out. His face looked gentle as he recalled the girl with silver hair. She was a crazy person that even he felt troubled about. During the half a year when she chased him, Mu Chen fought with her 3 times. He won twice, but for the last time, the girl reversed the situation and a black long sword, which was like a ghost in the night sky, stopped at his throat. It was obvious that she won that time completely. She only needed to gently stab at him, and he would have remained in the spiritual road forever. However, she did not stab at him. In the darkness, her glass-like eyes stared at him for a long time. Then she slowly retracted her sword and said in a low voice, "I won't kill you. You should come with me." At that moment, Mu Chen was stunned for a while. Then he asked the question he wanted to know since 6 months ago. "Why did you chase after me for so long? If I didn't save you, you would have died a long time ago." When he first met her, she was caught in a dangerous situation. 5 cunning, crazy individuals wanted to kill her. Originally, Mu Chen did not plan on helping her, but maybe because those individuals were annoying, or perhaps it was the sadness that appeared in her glass-like eyes, he gave in. He saved her, yet he also got into trouble with the 5 of them. For a week after that, Mu Chen brought the injured her as they escaped. However, Mu Chen gradually defeated the 5 troublesome individuals in the following 10 days after that. He killed 3 of them, and the remaining 2 gave up. But just when he finally got rid of the 5 troublesome individuals, he could not relax at all. The girl, who had never spoken a single word to him, pulled out her sword and pursued him for half a year. When the girl heard Mu Chen's question, she seemed to ponder for a moment. Then she hesitated before he heard the answer, which nearly made Mu Chen puke out blood. "I don't want to have a good opinion of you. I only wanted to focus on my training. If I have a favorable opinion of you, I will be distracted." "You're crazy!" At that moment, Mu Chen could not endure it and blurted out these words. "Then what are you doing now?" Mu Chen powerlessly asked. "I planned on killing you before, but it feels like I can't do it." The girl considered this seriously. Faint moonlight illuminated the beautiful face that would eventually cause a disaster. She frowned and said, "It feels that I still have a favorable opinion of you after these 6 months." Mu Chen wordlessly stared at the sky. They had hunted each other for half a year now. "Yet you actually say that you have a favorable opinion of me? I did not kill you just now, so you owe me your life. Therefore, you will form a team with me. I'll kill you when I don't have a favorable opinion of you. Are you trying to raise a dog? If I don't kill you by then, I'll let you go." Mu Chen shook his head helplessly. He turned around and said, "I'm not interested. I can protect you from all the backstabs. As long as you do not harm me, I will protect you whether it is in the spiritual road or in the Great Thousand World." The girl hesitated for a moment before she gently said towards Mu Chen, who turned around. Mu Chen's footsteps stopped. The girl's gentle voice seemed to penetrate the space and directly hit his heart. It made his eyes become warmer. "You usually do not speak, yet I never thought that it would be so touching when you do." Mu Chen turned around and smiled. He let out a sigh, and he stretched out a hand towards her as he walked over. "Then let's cooperate happily." The girl's face, which always remained calm and emotionless, suddenly let out a faint smile. At that moment, her beauty actually made the moonlight lusterless. Afterwards, she stretched out her cold hand and gently shook Mu Chen's hand. "This is my promise to you." The warm firelight from the rising campfire illuminated Tang Qianer's body. However, she still felt quite chilly. This chill came from Mu Chen's description of the spiritual road that she had once longed to enter. "It seems that the spiritual road isn't a wonderful place. It's lucky that I didn't go. Otherwise, not even my bones would remain." Tang Qianer's heart beat irregularly as she spoke. She did not imagine just how anxious she would be if she had to survive in a place where she could not trust anyone. It wasn't a nice place from the start. Mu Chen smiled and lifted his head. He noticed that Teacher Mo was waving to everyone, and many students turned their gaze over. For this time's Northern Spiritual Field training, this place will be our camp. All of you will head out tomorrow from this place and venture into the Northern Spiritual Field for training, where you will confront directly against spiritual beasts. Before this happens, I would like to remind you that the spiritual beasts are divided into 3 ranks: high, middle, low. Most of the ones at the outskirts of the Northern Spiritual Field will be low-rank spiritual beasts. However, you will still need to team up in order to deal with it. Teacher Mo looked around as his calm voice echoed throughout the camp. Every single student was listening carefully. They knew that this isn't a mock battle, but a true fight. A single mistake would cause them to become food for spiritual beasts. The low-rank spiritual beasts are approximately at the strength of a spiritual movement stage. The middle-rank spiritual beasts are spiritual rotation stage. The high-rank spiritual beasts are comparable to the spirit stage. In the depths of the Northern Spiritual Field, high-ranked spiritual beasts exist. Therefore, you should definitely not enter depths of the Northern Spiritual Field. When Teacher Mo said to this point, his voice had already become quite severe. Even he would find it a hassle to deal with the high-ranked spiritual beasts in the depths of the Northern Spiritual Field. These students that just came out from the academy would be like a defenseless sheep. Everybody nodded their heads. They weren't foolish enough to joke around with their own lives. Not to mention a high-ranked spiritual beast, they would run far away if they encounter a middle-ranked spiritual beast. At the end of this training, each member of the top 3 teams would be able to obtain an accumulation elixir. Teacher Mo relaxed his expression slightly. He stared at the boys and girls whose eyes lit up and smiled as he said, "So, in order to obtain an excellent result, you should work together with your companion. With your strength right now, you must cooperate in order to survive in the outskirts of the Northern Spiritual Field." "Yes," the students replied in unison. "After you hunted down the spiritual beasts, you should remember to collect the soul essence." Although the low-ranked spiritual beast's soul essence isn't something that a spirit stage powerhouse would ingest, it will be used to evaluate your performance. Muchen nodded his head slightly. A spirit stage powerhouse has the ability to ingest spiritual beast soul essence. With their strength, they naturally wouldn't take a fancy to a common spiritual beast. "Teacher Mo, you are also a spirit stage powerhouse. What beast spirit did you ingest?" A few students asked in curiosity. They were quite interested in the special ability of ingesting a beast spirit that a spirit stage possesses. When Teacher Mo heard these words, he hesitated a bit. Then, he immediately formed a seal with one hand, and a powerful spiritual energy erupted from his body. The golden light condensed behind him, and it actually formed into a giant golden wolf that cried into the sky. On the surface of the giant wolf's body, a lightning pattern seemed to be there. It seemed very powerful and extraordinary. "Wow!" Surprise sounds erupted from the camp. Even the West Branch students that were located at the other side of the camp turned their gaze over. They were slightly shocked by the giant golden wolf behind Teacher Mo. Teacher Shi, who was also explaining the rules to the West Branch, noticed this and pouted his lips. His body shook and a mighty spiritual energy exploded out. Behind him, a black lion figure appeared. On the back of the lion, a gray turtle shell was there. All of the students looked at the spiritual beast soul essence that the spirit stage powerhouses ingested and summoned. They were envious. This power was something that they wanted. I ingested the high-ranked spiritual beast Golden Thunderwolf's soul essence. The Golden Thunderwolf is ranked in the Myriad Beast record. However, it is not ranked up high. It is only at the 382nd place of the Earth ranking. Teacher Shi ingested the high-ranked spiritual beast Rock Turtle Lion soul essence. It is ranked at the 391st place of the Earth ranking. Teacher Mo smiled when he saw Teacher Shi's action. Afterwards, he waved his hand and the golden wolf vanished from behind him. It's such an amazing spiritual beast, yet it is only ranked somewhere in the 300s of the Myriad Beast Record's Earth ranking? Then won't the top 100 Earth-ranked spiritual beast be even more insane? There is also the legendary Heaven ranking for the Myriad Beast Record. Wouldn't it be too overpowered? A few students exclaimed. Just the Earth ranking was this amazing. Just how terrifying would the Heaven ranking for the Myriad Beast Record be? The spiritual beasts that are able to enter the top 100 in the Myriad Beast Record's Earth ranking are not any ordinary spiritual beast. Their strength surpasses a spirit stage powerhouse greatly and are comparable to a powerhouse at the level of 3 Heaven stage. Therefore, they are known as Heaven rank spiritual beasts, in short, heavenly beasts. After he said to this point, Teacher Mo suddenly glanced at Mu Chen. Mu Chen understood what he meant. This is because Mu Chen's father ingested the Dragonfire Bird, which was ranked in the top 100 of the Earth ranking. Thus, the Dragonfire Bird should have achieved the Heaven rank. Normally speaking, it should be quite difficult for a spirit stage powerhouse to ingest the soul essence of a spiritual beast that is stronger than them. For Mu Feng to be able to ingest it, he must have been quite lucky. Mu Feng's strength is definitely in the top 3, even among the 9 territory lords within Northern Spiritual Realm because of this. After reaching Spirit Stage, the strongest attacking method is ultimately the spiritual beast soul essence that they ingested. It is considered a powerful fighting force. Therefore, it was natural that their strength will be stronger if they ingested a stronger spiritual beast. As for the existences in the Myriad Beast Records Heaven ranking, Teacher Mo paused for a moment and immediately smiled. Even the powerful individuals at the sovereign stage in the Great Thousand World wouldn't dare to easily attack them. Okay, it's about time now. You should all rest earlier today. The Northern Spiritual Field's training will officially begin tomorrow morning. Teacher Mo felt that he said enough. He waved his hand to stop the excited youths. When everybody heard these words, they dispersed as they carry a bit of excitement back with them. Mu Chen also returned to his tent and closed his eyes to train. He, once again, tried to see if he could condense the second limitless death seal. A peaceful night passed by. The following morning, when morning arrived, many students were already prepared at the camp. They stared excitedly at the inside of the vast forest. Mu Chen was together with Tang Chener. He swept his eyes around and noticed Tan Xingshan nearby. Mo Ling was actually next to him. It seems that the two of them have formed a team. This surprised Mu Chen a bit. After all, Mo Ling had the strength of a spiritual movement stage late phase. If he wanted to find someone to team up with, there are many people more suitable than Tan Xingshan. Mu Chen, you formed a team with Qianer? Oh, I formed a team with Qingshan. Since he is a newcomer, it would be a bit risky to come here. I thought that I should take care of him a bit, Mo Ling said as he noticed Mu Chen, and he brought Tan Xingshan over. Mu Chen smiled slightly and nodded his head. From Mo Ling's words, he could tell that he wanted to form a good relationship with him. It seems that the majority of the reason why Mo Ling wanted to take care of Tan Xingshan was because he wanted to form a good relationship with him. Senior Mo Ling sure is thoughtful. Mu Chen smiled. He did not have any ill feelings towards Mo Ling. Therefore, he did not object in forming a relationship with him. They talked and laughed for a while. Then their voices suddenly stopped. From their right, a group of individuals suddenly separated, and a few familiar figures appeared in front of Mu Chen. The one that led the group was Liu Yang, who lost to Mu Chen at the academy competition. Liu Yang stared at Mu Chen. His eyes were a bit cold. The battle during the academy competition had impacted his reputation quite a bit. Although his big brother was Liu Mubai, he was secretly scoffed at when he entered the Heaven class. Thus, his heart was still filled with rage. Mu Chen only took a glance at Liu Yang before he tilted his head away to the one beside him. There, a tall and burly boy was staring at him in interest. You are that Mu Chen? I heard that your reputation isn't that small recently. The boy in yellow clothes smiled as he stared at Mu Chen and spoke in a careless manner. Chen Tong, what do you want? When Mo Ling saw these two boys, he lifted an eyebrow and asked in a deep voice. Mu Chen's face remained calm. Chen Tong. This name was quite well known in the Northern Spiritual Academy. Although he could not compare to Liu Mubai, he is still ranked 3rd overall in the Northern Spiritual Academy. He is at the spiritual movement stage late phase and is like Mo Ling, an important individual that the Northern Spiritual Academy focuses on nurturing. Before, you were always the one that tries to make a show of authority. Why do you have to bring someone over now before daring to come over? Mu Chen glanced at Liu Yang and he smiled as he spoke. Oh, you're quite arrogant. Let us introduce ourselves. I am the West Branch's Chen Tong. I wanted to meet the only one who qualified for the spiritual road a long time ago. Chen Tong held out his hand and chuckled. Let's go. Mu Chen let out a slight smile. He was too lazy to care about these two individuals. He passed straight through Chen Tong's side. Then he stopped his footsteps and stared into the distance. At that location, Liu Mubai, who was wearing white clothes and looked exceptionally handsome, was staring over to this side. The two of them exchanged glances. A faint chill seemed to flow in the air, and it made the surrounding students quietly close their mouth. If you dislike me, then come at me by yourself. These people are not up to my standard. Mu Chen gently laughed. He did not stay at that place longer and brought Tang Chener out of the camp. They moved quickly towards the Northern Spiritual Field. Liu Mubai narrowed his eyes slightly as he stared at Mu Chen. A cold light flashed through his eyes. That bastard! Liu Yang gritted his teeth as he spoke. Chen Tong let out a grin, but his eyes were quite dark. It's fine. We'll let him show off for now. There's always a chance of meeting in the northern spiritual field. At that time, nobody will be watching, so I'll teach him what manners are. He really is a boy who doesn't respect his seniors. That wraps up the content for today's episode. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel to get notifications for the next episode. For now, goodbye, and see you next time.